You're going to be in store for some potentially big hits that you're going to be seeing from me, and also a potential Haaland triple captain. But anyway, let's get into it. Hello everyone, my name is Akshay and welcome back to a brand new FPL video. So in today's video, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of my Game Week 19 team review, how it performed and stuff, and then I'm going to go through my Game Week team selection, my Game Week 20 team selection, I should say. It is a huge game week, probably the biggest game week so far in FPL, and there's loads of them so far in FPL. Just before we get started, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, that would mean so much and help this little small channel get pushed up in the YouTube algorithms. Also, comment down below your Game Week 20 plans. I want to know what you guys are going to do, and yeah, I pretty much will read and reply to everybody's comments, so yeah, I want to know your thoughts. But anyway, now let's get into the Game Week 19 team review. It wasn't the best performance by me this week. I scored 49 points overall, bringing my total points to 1,082, and then nearly around a 140k drop in rank from 970 to 1.1 mil. And this season has been annoying because I went template at the start, which is why my rank is a bit iffy. But the thing with rank at the moment is literally 20 points can put you up like 300-400k in rank. So I wouldn't look at your overall rank too seriously at the moment, to be honest, because there's just huge swings every single week. But yeah, Cancelo really letting me down again here, and Kepa, I made the mistake. It wasn't a mistake because I was going to do it no matter what, but because he had a double game week, I put him in instead of Pope, and you're probably thinking, why have you kept Trippier and Botman in but not Pope? It makes no sense. It's just because I didn't have the defensive backups on my bench, so I had to keep them in, basically. Otherwise, I probably would have benched them against Arsenal too, but that worked out well for me. But that Pope 10-pointer, if I had him in goal, that would have actually got me a green arrow just about, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that was really disappointing, and then the rest of the players just didn't perform. Andreas at least got an assist yesterday, but Saka, Salah, didn't perform, and Kessie with a blank as well. Haaland with a blank, but I don't really care about Haaland because I captained Mitrovic, so that was good at least. But yeah, quite a disappointing game week for me. But now I'm going to move on to the juicy bits of the video, my plans for Game Week 20. So I'm going to be showing you guys a couple options for my transfer plans for Game Week 20. I'm actually recording this on Friday morning, so I've already made my transfers now, but initially when I made this graphic I hadn't made the transfers yet, and it was out of these two options, but I'll let you know what I've done. The reason I made the transfers was because the players that I was targeting could have changed in price, especially Harry Kane and players like that, and then I wouldn't have been able to afford them, so I just wanted to get the transfers done, but then in the end Harry Kane didn't change price and the others didn't change price, so I didn't have to do it, but it literally makes no difference to me anyway. So initially, even though it doesn't show on screen now, option 1 was going to be Salah to KDB, Garnacho, who's on my bench, to Bruno, and then Cancelo to either Akanji or Shaw. And I really wanted Bruno this week. I was so hot on him because I just have this gut feeling that he's going to go crazy and hit like pre-Ronaldo form again. Because his actual underlying stats for like chances created and stuff, when you rank them against the midfielders, are pretty good. But then I looked at the bigger picture on future game weeks and I was like, no, I think I have to make this play instead. So option 1, the new option 1, was Cancelo, Salah and Mitrovic out for Shaw, De Bruyne and Kane. So this was a really strong option for me. Obviously it's a -8 because I did make a transfer last week, so I only have one free transfer. So yeah, this was a strong option for me because I really wanted a Man United defender in, and I didn't want to just get lost and be stubborn, you know, and not transfer in Shaw, even though a lot of people have transferred in Shaw, because I really wanted Dalot, but then his transfer in, his fitness doubt screwed everything up, him going off precautionary. But otherwise 100% I would have transferred in Dalot this week, but I just couldn't take the risk. So yeah, that was option 1. And then option 2 is a -12 hit, which is a big hit. But something I was willing to do because it would probably put my team in a very good position for the upcoming game weeks. And the way I see hits is, say for example, I'm transferring out somebody for a hit, right? And for example, the person I'm putting in is De Bruyne for a -4 hit, say. De Bruyne has 2 games this week, so even if he blanks twice, I've kind of broken even, if that makes sense. So that's the way I look at transfers, and say he didn't have 2 games this week, then I technically, even if he blanked, would only be getting a -2. I hope you're following. But yeah, that's my thought process when making transfers, and I haven't done something this big all season. But you know what, it comes a point in the season, we're halfway through now, where you have to go big or go home, and I'm gonna take this risk. And I personally think this risk will pay off. Fingers crossed it does, otherwise I'm gonna be a bit screwed. But yeah, so option 2, let's run through it. Cancelo, Salah, Andreas and Mitrovic out, replacing them with Akanji, De Bruyne, Rodrigo and Kane. And I'll go through all of these guys. So starting off with Akanji. So Cancelo out for Akanji in. It was out of Akanji or Dalot, but like I said, Dalot has fitness concerns and I just couldn't risk that this week. And then Salah out for KDB. I mean, Man City have 2 upcoming double game weeks, and even though KDB hasn't been returning recently, it's just, you just cannot ignore him with these games coming up. I know he's got some hard games, but man, his underlying stats have been great as well. And I mean, it's crazy to risk not having him in your team, especially with Haaland up front in all these games that you have coming up. And just a quick one on Akanji. Stones obviously was going to be the main choice as well out of the City defenders, but then he was a fitness doubt in the Carabao Cup, and it probably is just precautionary as well and Pep playing mind games, but I didn't want to make the risk. And Akanji's played the most minutes out of any City defender by far, by about 200 minutes in the last 10 games, so I think Pep trusts him a lot, and yeah, he was a solid option for my team. I didn't want to go with Ake as well because he was very disappointed in the last game, and sometimes he drifts off to left back. And City have got 3 options left back, so yeah, there was. I just didn't want to risk Ake either. But I'll move on to Kane before I talk about Rodrigo. So Mitrovic out for Kane. And Kane has really hard games coming up as well. Arsenal, Man City, and then Man City again in a couple weeks' time. But he's a big game player. He loves scoring against Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't like saying that, but it's straight facts. He just loves scoring against us. And if one person's going to do something in that Tottenham team, it's going to be him, as he's been proven this season time and time again. So I think, yeah, that was another no-brainer for me. I could have gone with Martial, Nunez. Yeah, so Nunez had a slight knock. It came out yesterday, and then Martial wasn't seen in training. I wouldn't read too much into it. They're probably both still going to play, but I think Martial now, with the Weghorst signing, is a massive minutes concern. He was already getting taken off pretty much every game, but now he's definitely not going to play 90. And then Nunez, his underlying stats are absolutely off the charts, but he's just not scoring. But if you have him, definitely trust him because he's eventually going to start banging in the goals. So yeah, which is why I opted for Kane, the double game week coming up, and he's just very, very prolific. So now I want to talk about Rodrigo, okay? Because I personally feel like he is being massively slept on. Like, I've hardly seen anybody talk about him, but he's got some really good games coming up. He's got Aston Villa away. I know they're doing all right now under Emery. Then Brentford at home, Nottingham Forest away, Man United's difficult, and then Everton away. And, okay, I'm going to run you guys some stats for Rodrigo, okay, because I think he's been unfairly treated by the FPL community. So in the last 5 games, he has the 2nd highest XG out of all the midfielders. He is the top scorer in the last 5 games out of all the midfielders with 4 goals. Below him is Salah with 3 goals. And guys, he's the 5th top scorer in the Premier League this season with 10 goals. He scored more goals than Almiron, and he's played 2 less games than Almiron. And he's only 2 goals away from being the 3rd highest scorer in the league. So I don't know why everybody's sleeping on him, because he's only 72% owned by FPL managers as well. So I'm backing him. I'm going to be... That is a big, big differential, by the way. It could go completely wrong for me. But you know what? His stats are too good to ignore. And yeah, I'm not going to keep sounding like a broken record and keep going on and on. But he's being slept on. So like I said, last night I did make these transfers because I was scared of the price changes and not being able to do them. So I have gone with option 2 with the -12 here. So I've transferred out Cancelo for Akanji, Salah for De Bruyne, Andreas for Rodrigo, and Mitrovic for Kane. Let me know in the comments down below whether you think I should have gone for option 1 or option 2. I think my option is the right decision. I'm happy with it. I mean, it sets my team up for the next few weeks very well. So yeah, that is pretty much my transfer options for this game week. But now moving on to how my team is going to be looking with these transfers in place. So we're going to begin in goal with Nick Pope. They've got Fulham at home. I know Fulham are doing very, very well at the moment, but Newcastle and their clean sheets is just something not to ignore. They're pretty much keeping clean sheets with ease at the moment, and a very strong option because they're playing at home as well. So now moving on to the defenders, Trippier and Botman. I'm not going to talk too much about them because you guys already know the deal with Newcastle. And then my new transfer in Akanji, I spoke enough about him in the last slide where you saw my potential transfer. So I'm going to move straight onto the midfield. Saka's been in my team for a long time now. Most people have Saka or Martinelli or even both in their team. Arsenal, top of the league, of course, doing amazing. And yeah, I think the Arsenal team are going to be super fired up for the North London derby because at the moment it feels like every single game's a final for us because we haven't been in this position for so long. So any drop points just feels like a loss. So yeah, I think Saka's going to be proper on it for that game. De Bruyne, of course, spoke about him in the last slide with an upcoming double game week and then another double game week in 24. And then my man Rodrigo, I talked loads about him once again in the last slide. Yeah, his numbers are really good and definitely being slept on. So I'm very happy with my selection for him in my team. And then Marcus Rashford, on the form of his life, upcoming double game week. And Man United do provisionally have a double game week confirmed in a game week 22 against either Leeds or Brentford, I believe it is. So yeah, it just depends what happens in the cup competition. But yeah, it's very likely they're going to get a double game week in 22 as well, so which adds another fixture on for Man United. And then up front, we have Nketiah, Kane and Haaland. Nketiah's been doing all right, man. He's 17 goals in his last 22 games. I think he's been solid since Jesus has been injured. And it's his first time playing in some proper big games since he's been the #1 striker in the team. Tottenham and Man United coming up. So yeah, let's see how he does. I'm still backing my Arsenal striker. Let's go. And then Harry Kane, upcoming double game week as well. So not much to talk about with him. And Haaland. Haaland's the big one this week. The big talk of the town. Triple captain or not triple captain? So I am going to be activating the triple captainship for Haaland this week. I think there's a lot of upside to it. Man City have got another upcoming double game week in 23. There's a reason why I didn't want to triple captain in them, because that is only 1 week before the Champions League and you just don't know how Guardiola thinks. The guy is crazy with his changes, man. So you can never trust him. So the closer it gets to Champions League, the less I want to captain Haaland because I just worry about his minutes. He could play every single game. But yeah, like I said, I think there is no better time to triple captain him than now because you're guaranteed that he's pretty much going to play 90 minutes in both the games against Man United and Tottenham. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for my first week as an FPL content creator. It's been enjoyable. I am also making shorts, if you guys didn't know, so I appreciate if you guys could go and watch them too. They're just basically short versions of these videos if you want very compact versions and you don't want to sit here and listen to me ramble on. But yeah, like I said, I would love to hear your comments down below on what you guys have done for Game Week 20. If you have any questions or anything, I will reply to all your comments, so make sure you do leave a comment down below. And also, if you could consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, that will help the channel boost up the rankings a lot and I would really appreciate it. But other than that, guys, good luck for Game Week 20. I hope you have a great weekend and I will see you for the next video.